Everybody's ready. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please rise for pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask for a moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. I want to welcome everybody that's here and everybody that's watching or will be watching. Also, if you have your phones, if you put it on silent or vibrate, I appreciate it. Next item is roll call. Today I'm going to start with Commissioner Cos.
Here.
I'm here. Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Commissioner Stephen.
Here.
Commissioner Culberson.
Here.
Public comment. I don't believe there was any for this portion, so I'll go to administrative business. Mark?
Commissioners, just that you had asked to schedule a work session with our two members on the Port Authority. The January 19th is the date that will work for them. Just want to know if you want that at our normal meeting time, 9 a.m., or if you prefer a different time.
I like mornings myself.
Okay.
That's fine.
Just right after the meeting.
Well, it's a Thursday.
Thursday,
It's
yes,
not Wednesday, the 19th.
That'll be after the meeting. It's on Wednesday.
Okay, so 9 o'clock on Thursday.
I'm good.
Okay,
9 o'clock, everybody good? Okay.
that was all. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Commissioners, Vicki, you have anything? I don't. Doug, you have anything you want to bring up? Mike? Jeff?
I had one thing. We've been working on the pipeline resolution to make sure that the high-pressure gas lines are buried by the gas companies. I was just going to ask David if there's anything else he needed me to do. I think we're waiting on emergency management to come up with the verbiage out of their regulation.
Commissioners, we can present that to you for your initial consideration next Wednesday. I would suggest that we take due time to consider it. I'm not certain if you'd wish to consider adding other pipelines into that. There is a gasoline pipeline in the county. I'm not aware of any crude oil pipelines, but after the Keystone leak in Washington County, it's certainly a germane issue.
That's why I thought I'd bring it up, because of that line that ruptured. I've had several people reach out to me and ask where we're at on that. So.
I saw that.
Okay.
Okay. That's Jeff. Okay.
Just a question.
Go ahead, Mike.
For Mark. When are we going to be meeting with our economic development folks again? Like meet with Tom and have either a work session or a conversation about some of these things publicly as a group?
Some of
The economic development things that are happening, like for instance the DeSoto battery plant and where the economic development folks are with that, and just where we're at on economic development as a general rule. I guess he's working on a document that he's writing.
So I think Tom is scheduled for quarterly reports like the other departments, and he was here last month, so he'll be here probably in 2 months to give reports.
Okay.
And he'll be here obviously on the 19th when you meet with your Port Authority representatives. But.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, I'll move on to consent agenda. Any item on the consent agenda needs to be pulled. If not,
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
motion is second. Any discussion on it? Commissioner Cos?
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Stephen?
Hey.
Commissioner Culberson?
Aye.
Thank you. Formal board action. Consider a motion to appoint the Fairmount Township clerk.
We do have an opening. Mr. Gary Ealer did pass away. He was duly elected to that position, but then is unable to fulfill it. And we had two applicants that Doug, I do believe all of you have seen the letters that they sent in asking for consideration to the appointment of Fairmount Township clerk. This would be a four-year term. It would be for the entire term that Mr. Eberth was going to hold. So I will just turn this discussion over to Commissioner Smith.
All right. We had some really good applicants. They were both very, very qualified. But after looking at it, I'd like to recommend Mark Nitsky to fill that term. I mean, we're very fortunate to get applicants with these qualifications because, you know, the township board pretty much takes care of the fire departments and the cemeteries. But the big money thing is the fire departments.
So that's your motion, then?
Yeah, I move that to appoint Mark Nitsky to the four-year term to fulfill the Fairmount Township vacancy.
Second. Motion is second. Any discussion? Okay, no more discussion. Commissioner Cos?
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Commissioner Culberson?
Aye.
All righty.
I'd like to, show appreciation for anybody that puts in for
Absolutely.
these,
Yeah.
and to get good qualified applicants was great, and it was a tough decision, or tough to make that recommendation. Thank you for supporting.
Item A is consider a motion to approve and authorize the chairman to sign the notification of grant approval for the Council on Aging's Older Americans Act grant application for FFY 2023. Good morning.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
What you see is the grant for our Older Americans Act funding for our nutrition programming and our human services programming that we apply for each year. The match that you see there, I believe it's $39,499. That was budgeted in my 23 budget. So this is exactly what we were expecting to receive when we did apply for that grant. So a little over $236,000 for those programs.
Commissioners?
Self-explanatory.
I think so, Doug.
Yeah, somebody's going to give us some money.
Yeah. Get a motion?
I move that we approve the grant for the Council on Aging Older Americans Act grant application for FY 2023.
I'll second it. Any discussion?
No.
I think so says it all. Commissioner Cos?
Aye.
Vote aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Mr. Culberson?
Aye.
All righty. Very good.
Thank you.
And before we start, I want to thank you for hosting
Absolutely.
yesterday's legislative breakfast and
And the tour.
giving the tour for the people who had not had an opportunity to see the
Yeah.
facility.
Happy to do it. It was great to have everybody in the building. And
Yeah.
to
Really
show
nice
it off a
building.
little bit.
It really
You've done
turned
a
out
really nice job
Yeah.
redoing it.
It's turned out very nice.
We love it and can't wait to have an official open house ribbon cutting once we get all the signs up inside, and that's coming in the next few weeks.
Great. Great.
Thank
There's
you.
just no way that the county could have afforded to do this
No.
building without the donation of that building
That's
from
right.
St. Luke's.
Thank you, Vicki.
And it's been incredible to have people walk through it who worked there for 20 years and things like that.
Yeah, I know.
I had my baby right here.
That's it.
Yeah, they took my appendix out in this room. And,
We were laughing
just to
about that.
reminisce and
Yeah.
remember with
I had
us.
two children born there 40 years ago. When I walked in, I go, wow, this has changed a little.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I was born there,
Were you right there?
1961.
The question of the day is, where am I standing right now? Like, where in the hospital am I standing? That's what everybody wants to know. So.
Yeah, I would have got lost yet taking his own tour.
I would just like to know what it would have cost for us to be able to purchase a property and
Oh,
build
my
a
goodness.
brick and mortar building like that. There's just no way we could have done it
We
ever.
couldn't.
ever.
No. Oh,
Well,
thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item is consider a motion to approve Resolution 2022-27, the gravel road dust control policy, and the 2023 dust control request form. Morning, Bill.
Morning, Commissioners. Today, for your consideration, we do have the approval of the Resolution 2022-27, the gravel road dust control policy. This is a continuation, yearly renewal of that policy. Approximately this time each year, we do bring this forward for your consideration. We take a look at what the costs were, both of this year and some projections, because oil costs and material costs do fluctuate. The cost for installation and maintenance for the 2022 hard surface dust control program will increase approximately 16% from the 2020. Sorry, for the 2023 program will be a 16% increase from the 2022 program. This accounts for the increased cost of labor, materials, and equipment. As you guys know, with inflation, we had seen at times during this past year some of the commodity costs for the material or for the materials used for asphalt, they went up as much as 30%. Now they've come back down. Obviously, this program is somewhat subsidized by the department. In the past, it has been at least, and it will continue to be so under this new cost of $24.88 per linear foot. In 2022, the road department switched from 3 coats of chip and seal for this program and utilized a single application of asphalt. Approximately 3 to 4 inches of asphalt was placed at nearly the same cost as the chip and seal. Installation materials cost was greater, but with the chip and seal, we did 3 applications, and by the time you took in 3 mobilizations to each site, and the decrease in the future maintenance costs between chip and seal and asphalt, it seemed like it was a cost benefit to the county, especially with the new policy of the continuing maintenance of any connected roadway. The policy itself did not change, other than the fact that we will be using asphalt again. We can start that process earlier in the year than we would with chip and seal, and we can get so it doesn't interfere as much with some of our other maintenance items that we would be completing. The program is limited to 6 installation locations, must be at least 300 feet long, and must be less than a quarter mile. If the commissioners have any questions, I'll...
No, like I said, it's a good program. Of course, we need to continue subsidizing it a little. I mean,
But it's budgeted.
Taxpayers,
funds.
the property owners are willing to put money in to get it.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're not the only ones that use the road, so
Yeah.
the public gets to use it. It's a benefit for us because it's hooking to an existing blacktop road and, you know, continue on.
I would state-
we'll get them all paved 500 years from now, but
I would state that it is a budgeted item. We did considerably go over that line item this year because of the popularity of the program. We have not seen quite the interest currently as we were at this time last year. I don't know if that will remain the same after today or whether we'll all of a sudden start to get a bunch of phone calls about this program. But a lot of people did use the 5-year financing through the clerk's office, which does affect our budget. And so you never can anticipate whether or not you're going to see the majority of people finance or not. So it fluctuates from year to year.
now the 5-year interest free that goes on your taxes. Now that money, does it just go back in the general fund when them payments are made?
I believe that it goes back to where the original project was paid out.
So it would come back to the Road and Bridge Department? Okay. So we have a revolving loan fund program.
That's exactly what that is. Okay. Any other questions?
I think it's a good program.
I think it's great, but I think you agree, Doug. Get a motion then?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution 2021-47, the current gravel road dust control.
2022.
Oh, I'm reading off of this. 2023, okay. -47.
It's 2022-27.
Oh,
The one
that's
it's, the one it's
revised. I'm
replacing
sorry.
is
I'm on the wrong page.
2021-47.
2022-27, the gravel road control policy for 2023 dust control request forms.
Okay, motion and second. Any more discussion? Commissioner Cos?
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Stevens?
Aye.
Commissioner Culberson?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, next item we have is additional public comment. Kirk Sowers? Morning, sir. Come on up. You identify yourself and you got 5 minutes to present to the board, and we want to welcome you.
Good morning, Commission. Mr. Chairman, my name is Kirk Sowers. southern Leavenworth County. Live on the County Road 1 corridor. I am here today as the trustee for the Reno Township, and just wanted to notify the commission, and we can do something more formally or official than this if we need to. But Sherman Township and Reno Township are currently in discussions and committing to forming a fire district. So I don't know where to go with that from here other than just to notify you. I know by statute we have to notify the commission. So if you need more official notification than this, we can draft a letter or whatever it takes. But anyway, we've been working together for a long time, mutual aid. We share rosters, and this is basically just going to be a formal legal merger here of the two fire departments.
I think I like the idea. I would just, after coming from Lansing, I would just make sure you dot all your I's and cross all your T's. So,
Exactly.
you don't get in the situation that we got into. But anytime you can do things together, I've always supported that.
And you're working with Mr. Van Paris on
Yes,
this?
sir. Yeah, we've talked with David.
David Gibson.
Commissioners, just for your information, and I visited with a representative of Sherman Township as well. Dependent upon the results of a meeting that I anticipate is being held on January 6th.
Yes, I believe so.
Reno and Sherman Townships could either individually or jointly present a letter to you requesting that you consider the formation of a fire district containing Reno and Sherman Townships, possibly the city of Linwood, and that you then undertake to set that matter for the required public hearing. As far as the interlocal agreement, Commissioners, it's anticipated that the Commission would agree to devolve your governing authority over the fire district to a governing board formed by Reno and Sherman Townships, and we proceed on that basis. Commissioner Smith, your words of caution are greatly taken into consideration. The Kansas Supreme Court did provide some guidance on what could be done to effect a better interlocal agreement than was done with Fire District Number 1.
What kind of time? Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Just a couple questions. Within this agreement, it is possible for them to actually restrain themselves as far as what level the mill levy could be raised. But the state statute allows 9 mills. Is that correct?
The statute currently allows up to 9 mills. The interlocal agreement could set an agreed-upon cap that the fire district would submit to the county clerk annually as part of their budget.
Okay, and the second question is, since Sherman provides fire protection for the city of Linwood, does the state statute require that Linwood would be included in this?
Commissioners, it's a little gray area. A first-class city cannot, or unless via an agreement, cannot be included in a fire district. Second and third-class cities can be included in fire districts, but the statutes also seem to contemplate that the city would have to agree to be included within the fire district. Since Sherman Township currently provides fire protection to the city of Linwood, my suggestion would be that the city of Linwood be included in the discussions as to the interlocal agreement.
That makes sense.
So that they could join in with it. There's no independent city of Linwood fire department that would be affected. I think, as Kirk stated to you, Sherman and Reno Townships basically operate as a unified unit at this time. They do a very, very good job. The formation of a fire district, as Kirk said, just formalizes the current arrangement.
Mark, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, Commissioner, since this isn't an agenda item, it was just brought up during public comment, I would caution going any further really with discussion until we can get it on an agenda so that people are prepared and aware that we're going to have this conversation.
As I stated, Commissioners, upon receipt of a letter, you could then initiate the public hearing process.
Okay, that's true. I let that get away from me.
And to Mike's point also, we are including the city of Linwood in the discussion. In fact, we have a liaison from each township, and we're going to be attending the city council meetings as soon as we can get on their agenda. So,
Very good. Thanks for all your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks for keeping me on track, Mark.
just glad that the township boards are looking for the future.
Yeah, I do.
Because I think that area, like Mr. Stevens was saying, is probably going to have some fallout from the battery plant. So I think it's great that both townships are looking at a vision, anyways.
I agree. Okay, Mark, did you have anything else? Okay, Mr. Cost, do you have anything?
See, on Monday, I went to Johnson County Community College to attend a meeting for Workforce Partnership, reviewing applications for the upcoming the applications for the individual organization that would be contracting for WIOA, providing those services. And then yesterday morning we had the legislative breakfast. At noon had mental health task force. And then last evening the City of Leavenworth commission meeting. And the new mayor was sworn in. It would be Mayor Hingula at Hingula.
Thank you, Vicki. I just got a few attending the Port Authority because Vicki was tied up on something else. I had a good conversation with him. Tom Cole also was there. Remind them that the county, they were looking for money for another spec building. Remind them the county has no funding for next year, so it's my understanding they made a motion they're going to approve the one down in Baser by themselves if Baser decides to do it. That's still up in the air. Also, I attended the American Legion VFW Lansing Christmas party. Wasn't good. We had the Council on Aging folks there because these two organizations do a lot for the Council on Aging. It was well attended. Legislative breakfast, I think, was great. The building is just fantastic. I hear what Doug says about not being able to afford it. I know, Vicki, you had a lot to send that our way, but that is going to serve us well for many, many years. And then I want to thank especially Monica and HR department and Vicki and whoever else and all the people involved, all the staff involved for the chili contest. I thought that was a good thing. Had a lot of turnout. We even got Mark to be one of our judges, and we had a city manager from Lansing judge and city manager from Leavenworth, and I just think it looked like people had a good time. So we're looking forward to that next year. And that's all I have, Doug.
I just had a Baser City Council tonight, and Jamie had handed out, these fundings for community corrections. Vicki and I.
Oh, okay.
You can hand that one down to Jeff. So. Let them know what's going on with that in the future. And, yeah, I said the whole legislative breakfast. Glad that Senator Pittman and Representative Johnson. Dave, new representative.
Dave,
there. Glad they made it. I think it's productive.
Yeah. Got a lot of things to talk about.
We got a lot of things to talk about. And with that being said, I mean, I kind of echo on I'm just very concerned about next year's budget. There's just not going to be the extra money, and I think we really need to focus on our core services that we are obligated to provide. I just don't see any fluff next year that we're going to be able to meet these requests from a lot of these outside agencies.
Yeah, Port Authority was real good. The members that said we made it very clear. There were just some other things that happened at these meetings because it combined with the LCDC that looking at funding. I just said, and I didn't want to speak out of turn, but I thought y'all told me that next year's tough. Next year's tough.
And I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I hope all of a sudden we have a surplus of money. We can fund everybody's enhanced with all that, but I just don't see it. I think next year is going to be a really tough budget, unless something comes in that I don't know about.
Yeah,
Maybe our ship's going to come in.
I think our ship's sinking.
The Titanic.
But I'm just
Yeah, I know.
trying to be
Straightforward and honest.
if I'm wrong, I want somebody to correct me, because I would love to have a better attitude or a positive look at what the future holds.
If it comes in, we'll take it, but we don't look for it.
Well, you're right. The legislature could do something that would help us. So.
Please. Okay. Mike?
Well, I just want to share, we had a little tour on Monday and went to several parts of southern Leavenworth County, and I'm going to pass this up. You get them back to me, but there's a company down in southern Leavenworth County, which is actually out by sort of western part, Peruvian
Okay,
Connection. And you can look at that. They have high-end
I've
clothing.
seen the books.
It is like a diamond in the rough in the county. They provide, I mean, what they do, they design all their clothes right here, Leavenworth County. And we got to tour that, and I would encourage anybody that hasn't had an opportunity. It's a great business.
Did you, what was that Kansas City Business Journal we just got? Did you read in there? They were in there.
That's good.
About
I haven't read it.
It's 100% woman-owned company.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Has, 169 employees? No, it's good. It's
And we-
right up there on the chart.
But I would
Operation
encourage
for
you,
many
I mean,
years. It's a great.
if you have an
business.
opportunity to go tour it, it's really great. And we're helping them out on that road situation on George Road with the letter of support, and told them we'd do whatever we could as a county. Then when we visited with the folks from Hills Pets and met with us at the City Hall in Tonganoxie and informed us what the progress is on that. And then we also went to DeSoto and met with the mayor, Chamber of Commerce, and some good information. I don't really think part of it probably shouldn't be shared until we do the economic development piece, but let's just say we need to get on board.
Okay.
Probably happening too fast to have a real good plan.
Right, and that is for sure.
Well, I mean, it's obvious. This stuff takes years to plan.
Okay, Mike, anything else?
That's it.
Appreciate it. Jeff?
I don't have anything this week.
Okay, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second. Anything else from anybody? Going once, going twice. Commissioner Goss?
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Commissioner Culberson?
Aye.
Thanks, folks. We're adjourned.
Hey, good.